Welcome back!
Today we're going to be talking about what our lives were like before these came along.
We had to think a little bit back to quite a while, I guess. Well over a year ago, what we were doing.
Yeah. Actually, fun fact, as of right now, when we're recording this video, I was about 3 weeks pregnant with Bennett and I didn't know it, and Seneca had just recently become pregnant.
During that time, there was a lot happening. There was a lot going on.
Yeah. I got engaged. We were both coaching, though.
We were both coaching.
So Seneca is still currently a cheer coach. I am no longer a cheer coach.
There goes my makeup.
I decided to opt out of coaching cheer this year when I found out that I was pregnant with him, because I decided I wanted him to be my main focus, and also the school where I was coaching was about to go through this really big athletic change. We're getting a new principal, a new athletic director, and I just didn't honestly want to deal with all that
crap
basically that's associated with that, and all the change, and having to deal with a brand new athletic director and not knowing them. And
yeah, well, you had an advantage because you knew the principal personally.
Yeah, the previous principal, not the new one.
And her athletic director, fun fact, is actually the husband of one of our old cheer coaches
from when we were in high school.
I am a little bit less designed to be a stay-at-home mom all the time. I go stir crazy and I get into kind of a depressive state of mind. Not to say that I'm not now.
I'm a hermit.
But same. But to an extent, because I need to get out of the house at least for a couple hours, do something for myself. This is probably going to sound awful, but get away from a little bit of the responsibilities of being a mom for a second.
Yeah.
Even though I'm basically a second mom to 18 junior high kids. It's fine. But the stress of being a cheer coach, being a coach in I think our district, and I don't know about other districts, is pretty high, pretty stressful, and we only coach junior high. We treated our teams like teams, not like Spirit Squad.
No.
And just to be clear, Spirit Squad is
the rah-rah hooray kind.
Yeah.
A cheerleading squad. Stunts and tumbling and jumping and
badass.
Very.
Is more dangerous than playing football.
More people die in cheerleading than they do in football. But it's a phenomenal sport to do. We both did it. We're both national champions. We both love it. We both have so much fun.
Building routines.
Making music. Creating new stunts. Getting creative with...
And just being silly with the kids. Really, that was one of my favorite things to do, is just... And building those relationships.
Yeah, with the parents, too.
Yeah, even though I'm not coaching, I still talk to my old cheerleaders, and they still come to me if they have a problem or anything like that. It's just the way that I think that we ran things. It made kind of a lasting impression, and, I have genuine and complete love for all of the kids that were on my team, and I still do. I'd do anything for any of them still.
I strive really hard on my team, and I know Danielle did too. We don't have favorites.
No favoritism at all. None of that.
No,
because we had to deal with that.
And we don't have one good thing that our coach did do was there was not a team captain.
No.
Our coach was our team captain, and I think it minimized a lot of drama because there wasn't one cheerleader that thought she was better or above all of the rest of them.
Even though, trust me, there's plenty of drama.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Not necessarily revolving around that.
Yeah, we don't have other girls that have that, what I guess I would call the cheerleader complex, where they essentially think that they're better than everybody else.
And where you see on the cheer movies where she's the head dog and everybody wants to take her down, and
those movies are crap.
And the camps? Completely different. The camps are hard. They're not fun. They're hard. And they make you sore.
And cry.
A lot. Because you're so sore you can't move your body.
And your mom has to pull you out of bed in the morning.
Physically roll you onto the floor.
Yes. Like Danielle said, there is a certain level of drama that does come along with
any sport. Really?
Yeah.
I technically coached for 2 years because I really wanted to, and I had a lot of fun helping Seneca with her team, her first year. And I thought that was absolutely fantastic. And then actually at the end of that school year, I started coaching at my school, and I kind of started to pick up the pieces and meet the girls, and I got a little bit of a squad together, and then those same girls started the beginning of that next school year along with other kids that came in.
Yeah. On to the next thing. What other things did we do? We went to college.
Sort of.
No, we went to college. We just didn't get any degrees.
But sort of.
We went to college. For me personally, college was a good experience. Probably the first year of college was a good experience for me, but after that, I really just, I'm completely open about this. I'm dyslexic, and school and book things, like book smarts, were really hard for me. I know that I'm a smart person in other areas of my life, but that way I just really struggle. And it's not that I think I'm not illiterate or anything, don't get me wrong. It's just that I really struggle with that kind of stuff.
Words are hard.
Yeah. So I just, and I just kept pursuing it and pursuing it and pursuing it because that's what everybody else was doing. And I actually did fairly well in my classes. I think I only ever failed 2 classes in like the whole 3 years that I went to college. And I don't know. It just really was not for me. It wasn't my thing. And when I started to find other things that I really liked and started to pursue like coaching, and I realized that, I could have other jobs and I would be just fine, and I don't have to have a college degree under my belt to feel like I'm worth something in my life. So for me, that's why I decided to stop going to college, because it just wasn't right for me. And it's not right for a lot of people.
This is a tough subject for me because I don't feel that way about my situation as much. I am not dyslexic, and I am very book smart in that way. I love school and I love learning, and I'm very well oriented, I guess, in that space. My love of school, starts obviously way back. I was adopted and I was in the foster care system, so school was a way to escape that. So I've always enjoyed school because of that, because it was a way for me to feel safe and have structure, and
it was a constant.
It was a constant in my life, no matter what, I always got to go to school. When I got to college, I think my first semester I burnt out. I took 19 credits, both of my first semesters. If I hadn't have had to take remedial math classes, because that's the only space that I'm not great at is math, I probably could have graduated with my degree in general education after my first year of college. I had everything else done. I had met all of the requirements. I was taking probably 5 or 6 classes per semester. I was passing all of them. I think I passed everything with an A or a B. I maybe had a couple of C's, but I busted my ass that first semester, that first year, actually. The next year I was like, God, this is awful. And I started to get lazy.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been really responsible about school. I never understood why people didn't do their homework. I never understood how people couldn't turn stuff in.
And I mean, I did that piece. I'm not saying that I failed school or anything. I actually did really well in school. It just
was
a lot of work for me.
I felt the pressure hard because I had this big plan, these big dreams. I've had them since I was 8 years old. I never wanted to do anything else. I wanted to be a veterinarian for marine animals. I've wanted to do that since I was 8 years old. It was my passion. It was something I loved. And I made it 3.5 years.
I made it 2.5.
And I said, F it, I'm done. I struggled to pass a math class. I was struggling to pass any class.
Excuse my dog.
I had to pay my whole way through college using scholarships, and for a while I paid completely. I didn't have to pay for anything for my first whole 2 years of college. I had so much scholarship money left over that I was literally getting paid to go to college. For a while, I quit getting scholarships and things like that. So the struggle of college was real for both of us. Like, there's nothing to do in our state as a biologist. During our time of switching between things and trying to find ourselves, we found makeup.
Yes. Cosmetology. Basically.
I mean, right at first, we just, like, actually from you, you watched Tati.
Mm-hmm. Tati's awesome, by the way. She's in our recommended channels.
Were you watching Jeffree and Manny?
I was watching Manny, but I hadn't quite gotten to Jeffree yet. Because I wanted to watch him, but I remembered him from, like, his scary MySpace days.
I think, well, I started selling Unique. And then when she was like, oh, you have to watch this video with me, because I come over to her house and I basically spend the entire day there. Or 2. We would watch these videos and stuff, and I always was like, God, I just wish I could do that. I want to be able to do that. I want to do that with my makeup. I want to look like that. And then we got to talking a little bit, and we kind of started to realize that I realized I was willing to walk into Ulta and spend more of my money than I was to buy it from myself. And also a part of that section of my life, I felt really trapped in just Unique. On that time, Danielle introduced me to, like, Tati and Manny, and then we started watching Jeffree, and that kind of kick-started our passion, our experimentation, our
wanted to try what they were doing, wanted to try the products they were trying.
I think in working with the makeup, doing the makeup, buying the makeup, being a part of the beauty community, in a small way, we kind of found courage to be on camera, courage to be ourselves, courage to take the pictures instead of just, hiding and, like, hoping nobody sees us.
Yeah.
And I think around this time, both of us were also really struggling in our lives, too.
Yeah. I think we were both in a place.
I was struggling with depression that I refused to acknowledge at the time.
Same. And actually, I didn't acknowledge it all the way for probably a little bit over a year.
Yeah, I think I finally acknowledged it while I was pregnant.
Yeah. I started to acknowledge it when we had started to go to the gym, when we were working at the deli. And that's part of the reason why I was so strict on myself about going, because when I would go, I would feel so much better. Not necessarily about my body or anything like that, but my mental health.
Yeah.
And my state of mind would be so much better. Because I had a routine. I knew what I was doing. I went to gym at 5 to 7:30 in the morning. And then I would get ready, and I'd go and be at work by 9. And then I would be at work from 9 to, like, 5:30.
Yeah, and I think also part of our routine, both of us kind of made a pact, and we used each other as, like, accountability buddies.
Yeah. Which, believe me, we might be best friends, but if one of us showed up and the other person's car wasn't there, we were calling each other 6 million times until the other person got their butt there.
Yes. I think it was like we both were in a place where we needed to have that routine, but also it was beyond having a routine and then still allowing ourselves to, like, be grungy and gross, and, like, we kind of let ourselves go. And I was on a birth control that made me gain weight very, very quickly, and I was struggling so much to, like, get the weight to come off, and I wasn't feeling good about myself. My wedding had already passed.
Yeah.
But I gained all that weight that I had worked so hard to lose. I had gained it all back because I was being lazy. I wasn't eating well. And so, along with going to the gym every day, we made a pact that we would take a shower every day, that we would do our makeup most days, we would wear people clothes.
Even if we weren't going anywhere.
Yep. Because to us, it was like, what is the point of putting on jeans and a shirt if we're going to be at home and I can wear my PJs? What is the point of me doing my makeup if I'm going to be home and nobody's going to see it? So it was more of like a step-by-step process of, like, working through our depressions that we both refused to acknowledge.